Greetings, beloved. Welcome this evening to Togetherness Media. I'm coming to you live, remotely, via train. We have an amazing guest tonight. Amazing guest. We're going to have an amazing conversation. We will be talking about what happens when you don't, when you try to make a decision between two different things. And it's so, sometimes it's so interesting. And we're so excited to have her with us. And who is she? She is the delightful, the insightful, the beautiful, the intelligent, the gloriously empathetic Dr. Foojan Zeine, and fashionable. I forgot to mention fashionable. Hey, but y'all see that already. How are you doing today, Doc?
I'm doing great. How are you? What are you doing in train?
Yeah, I'm coming back from my grandfather's funeral was yesterday, so I'm taking the train back, and even though there's nobody within 6 feet of me, I'm trying to follow guidelines and wearing the mask, and I'm trying to set a good example for our viewers. So while
Absolutely.
while, while as we travel back,
My condolences.
yes,
I, I hope
thank
that
you, thank you.
the best of
Yeah,
his memories are in your heart, in your head, in your vision, all of it. So hopefully that's what your experience will be for them.
yeah,
So
yes, yes, yeah, exactly. And yeah, please continue.
we're going to talk about decision making and looking at what is some of the
Yes.
concepts that the decisions are made. Um, you might want to. I think that we can hear other people that are in the train. You might want to mute it if you can. If you can mute your phone, can you?
Yes. Yeah. I'll mute it when I'm not.
Yeah, much better. Okay. I was like, I can hear everybody out there, and I couldn't even hear what they were saying. So I was like, I need to know what they're saying. Um, we're going to talk about the concept of making decisions. Many times when we want to make decisions, we go through a conversation of what are the logics, what is my emotion, what are the facts. I want to look at all the facts together and put them together and then, make the best decision that is there for me. At the time of the decision making, we have certain needs, Anthony. So it's more like, okay, at this point, this is my need. So if I want to go into a relationship, I'm lonely. I want this type of a person. I want somebody kind. This, and this is where I want to go. If I want to go get a job, obviously I need money, and I need it to be full time. So there's a couple of categories that we have, and then we go in. Um, so I want a car, at that time my needs are this, and this is the amount of money I can pay and go. A lot of times after we make our decision and we go into, let's say, a relationship, then other needs, like this needs are completed, then other needs show up. It's like, okay, now I want this. And we can see sometimes that when we are in a relationship already, or we bought something, and now there are other needs that are going to show up, and then different parts of us go into this kind of a duality about, what do I do with the relationship I have? What do I do with the house that I just bought? What do I do with this while it's no longer fulfilling my needs and I want something else? And this duality I've been facing this past couple of weeks with many of the clients in different types of relationships, or even like if they've purchased something. And it's become excruciating for them. They question themselves. They go back and forth with, why did I get this and put myself in this position? Or if I, let go of what I have right now and just jump into something else, that it might not work for me. So you could see that there's a lot of turmoil that people go through sometimes when they're trying to make the decision. And some, kind of like hindsight, a lot of times we can go back and say, well, I shouldn't have done that. And now if I only knew what I knew today, I wasn't going to make that decision. The point is, you wouldn't know that at this point.
Yeah. So sometimes, and then oftentimes it depends on how when they make these decisions. Are they making these decisions based on desire? Are they making these decisions based on fear? And how informed are they when they're making these decisions? Do you have all of the information? I was watching with a friend a movie. It wasn't a really good movie, but somebody like made like a big decision about which college that they were going to go to before even looking at all the different, actually visiting all of the ones that they were accepted to, and they made like, and like the one of the ones that the one that they were originally planning to go to, like they decided not to go to that one without even visiting it. I was like, oh, that doesn't make much sense. Like, why would you make a decision that big without getting all the information and doing all of the research? So that's another really big part. Sometimes people don't get enough information, and sometimes people, even if they have all the information, they get frozen by fear, so they don't make the decision.
You're absolutely right. Sometimes they don't have all the facts. Sometimes the facts are there, but they're not putting the effort in looking at all aspects of things. And sometimes all the facts are not there. You have to take a leap of faith. You have to do something in order to find all of it. But I also think that you made a good point. Are we making a decision out of kind of like a free choice, looking at everything and making that choice? Or are we making a decision because of a lack? There's a fear. We're running away from something. And sometimes when we're running away from something, the decision to go to might not be a way that, we look at all aspects of it. You see that a lot, for example, in immigration. People who immigrate from countries that they feel like I'm running away from, they usually just take a couple of things from a new country that they want to go to, and they don't care. It's just like, just let me get out of here. You can see that with people who are at a job that they are so unhappy that they just don't care. It's like, just get me out of here. Or a divorce or a marriage that they really want to get out and they just want to get a divorce. And that also becomes a reason where they are so inclined about not wanting to be in something and wanting to run away that they don't look at all the other aspects and the information for the next step. All they can see is release and let go. They don't look at where they're letting go to or what's going to happen at the end. And so those are also part of the factors.
Yes. And then, what are the steps that you recommend for people to make when they're going through a major life decision? Like, is there a certain type of checklist that you'd recommend for these types of things?
Well, I think that the first part that you said was important, which is gathering facts, right? So first, we want to
Yeah.
gather all the facts that we have capability of finding, and that is in our horizon, and we can actually get. Then I also say for people to want to make decisions, to definitely write it down, to do a pros and the cons, and write it down. Don't just do it in
Hmm.
your head. Please write it down, and write it down in a column, not like, like you're writing an essay. And I want it in a form, pros and the cons
Hmm.
right in front of each other. And sometimes if it's between staying and leaving, between this and that, I would do pros and cons on all of it, like pros and cons on staying, pros and cons on leaving, pros and cons on buying this or this. And you could write it and don't, just kind of let it be for a week, a month, just whatever shows up at any point for you, go add to the list. Now, this list should be the list of facts. So first, you start getting information about the decision you want to get as much as you can. And then consider your emotions as one of the facts. So, a lot of times it's like, because I don't feel like it. It's okay if not feeling like it or being afraid or being eager, whatever those emotions are one of the facts. They are not, they're not necessarily higher than the facts. They are one of the facts. So then you start writing all of
Yes.
this. And then my suggestion is look at what you said. Like, am I making decision out of a fear, and or is it a need, or is it an immediate need? And if it's an
Exactly.
immediate need, then what
Mm.
are the extended needs? Like somebody will say, "I'm just lonely. I just want to go
Yes.
in a relationship." it. Okay, but imagine yourself after you're in a relationship in 6 months and your loneliness is no longer there. Now, what do you want? What are your needs then? Great, then write them down too. So start extending not only from the immediate need, but to a little bit about, 6 months, a year, 5 years from now. If you're making this decision, how would that be for you? What are some of the things that you think you might need in 5 years? And then take the list and go to a couple of people that you really trust, their wisdom, and say, this is a list I came up with about this decision. If you go through it, what would you recommend? Is there anything else that would come up in your mind about the pros or the cons that you could add to my list? So allow people that you trust their wisdom to also add value to your decision-making process. And then based on that, create a time and a date and an action plan to pull through in whatever it is that you're making a decision on.
And then one thing I would recommend as well, when you go to speak to people about that list and about that decision, make sure that you understand what kind of person it is. If it's something that's a little bit more of a risky, adventurous decision, and you're getting advice from somebody who doesn't really take adventures, who doesn't take risk, who wants things to be more that standard, classic way, take that into account when you take their advice, when you put that into your list. If you have somebody who's like flies by the seat of their pants a little bit more, and take that into account as well, like when you're balancing and you're weighing their advice. So like it's really important to take those factors, what filters that the people that you are getting advice from, the filters that they see the world in, and also the filters that they see you in. If there's somebody who's overly protective of you, and and wants you to like be, then their advice for you might be different. So take all of that with a grain of salt. Take all of that into account as you balance outside opinions.
Well, first of all, I think you're absolutely right. But if it's something that is a high risk, you might want to go to two opposing people and get both of the opposing concepts and put both of them there. So someone who is a little bit less risky, get their opinion and put it there, and someone who does risky behavior and put it there. So both factors are there.
Yeah,
One of the things that people do, Anthony, is that
exactly.
people don't write down. They just go to people and start talking. And when you go to people and start talking, or every morning you have some ideas, but you don't put it right down, you only look at one angle at that moment without the bigger. So the reason I'm saying start running a list and take it with you, put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, everything else that shows up, add to it. Because when you are looking at the whole picture, usually you'll make a different decision than you constantly looking only at one piece, and then you fall from one end of the spectrum to the other. They're like two opposing ideas, and you keep falling from one to the other, one to the other, and you constantly stay in this vacillation of, oh, what do I do? And you're never kind of convinced. At one point, you might just get tired and say, whatever, I'll do one of them. But it's not an appropriate assessment. That's why I'm asking people to write them down and add everything as a factor. Their emotion is a fact. The person's opinions is a fact. Everything is a fact that are putting. Now, maybe one fact may have more of a emotional charge or more of a value than another one, and that's okay. You can number them with value and make sure that those facts come up with some certain value around them. But the point is more of looking at the bigger picture and looking at all the facts. For example, in a
Yes.
relationship, Anthony, a lot of times what happens is like people say, I used to see all of these things that at this time I'm disgusted by and I can't handle anymore. But because this other need was important for me, I thought it's okay. I can bypass these. Well, it didn't. You couldn't bypass them. So that's why when people go on a date, I'm like, come back home and go through the list and see what is it that was there that you saw, whether you liked it or not. Put it on the list because I want you to make a decision whether you're going to marry this person or not, based on all the facts that you saw, you acknowledged, you put it in there. Now you see the bigger picture.
Yes. One thing, like the bigger picture, because one of the things I was thinking of before that is I often say when you're looking at a decision, look at it like the same way you will look at an impressionist painting. When you're looking at an impressionist painting, if you're too close to the painting, it's hard to see what it really is, and you can't see the big picture. You can't truly get the full image and grasp the full concept of what the painting is. But once you get back a few steps, at least 6 feet, then you're like, oh my God, okay, I didn't see how these things connect, and things that were blurry when you were close are so much clearer when you're further away. So take that aspect when you're making major life decisions, and when you're looking at things to try to figure out how things to go. Speaking of major life decisions, I heard that somebody wrote a book, and I wanted to find out what made the who that special person who wrote the book, what made them decide to want to write the book on this subject, and tell me a little bit about the book.
Oh, the book Life Reset? Are you talking about my book, Life Reset?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
I
I
create
am. Yes, which I want.
Life.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. Life Reset is a book that I wrote because I created a particular model. So it's a theory. It's a psychological and an educational model, which is called awareness integration. And then I've done this model a lot, obviously, with the past almost 20 years with my clients. And then we also did work with the Cal State Long Beach students as a self-help. And we got minimization of depression about 75% and 63% of minimizing their anxiety just by going through the self-help book. So I decided to write the self-help book for people to have access to it if they don't have the access to go to therapy, or that they just wanted, there's some people who don't go through therapy, and they love to do it through self-help. So it's a book that takes you through different areas of your life and gives you the tools to how to become aware of yourself, aware of your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and the way that you live your life, and the way that you are in different types of relationships. And also gives you a step-by-step tool of how to go and integrate the past. If we have unfinished businesses in the past that are constantly holding us, you go back and clean up. And then you create the life you want. You create the goals and action plans and how to set it up in your vision and your principles and values and how to get what you want. So it kind of gives you the tools to become aware of the present moment at every moment, gives you the tools to clean up the past so that it doesn't keep coming and sabotaging you or limiting you. And then also shows you how to create an envisioned tomorrow and an intentional tomorrow, and how to think and behave and hold an attitude and act upon it to create the goals that you have and want.
All right. So, how long did it take you to write the book?
The book, it took me about 2 years to go back and forth and write. I'm not a writer, so you can imagine I talk a lot. But if you ask me to put it in writing, and put the grammar in and all of that. So it was a lot of work for me to actually sit down and put this in a book and formulate it in a way that I knew, it was a way, for example, if somebody's in therapy, there was a back and forthness, and I know exactly how to pick something and go to the
Track
next step.
716 remaining stops at Corcoran, Wasco, and Bakersfield. Once again, 716 Corcoran, Wasco.
And did the decision making process of actually deciding to go ahead and commit to writing that, and to do something that was uncomfortable, like an outside of your normal zone?
I don't know to tell you how long it took, because I wasn't observing necessarily the time, but I know that it came because people kept telling me that, we can't have access to you. Can you write those steps for us? So even my clients who had gone through the steps, they said, I want something written that I can take with me. Even people who couldn't find me or be with me or go through therapy with me, they kept saying that we want something. So it was their incentive, actually, that created the incentive for me. They motivated me that I needed to give them something, because they kept asking. So that's how it all kind of like started to be put in a manual and then a book. So the same thing, like a lot of therapists kept asking me, because I was creating the certification program. Where's the manual? We need a manual.
Nice.
So before the next manual got created, and it's going to be published this year. So 2 more books are being published this year, completely done. One of them is,
Congratulations.
thank you, the manual for the therapist. So now they, coaches,
All right,
therapists,
final call for
educators,
716. Once
teachers,
again, this will be the last
and
and final.
they're the ones who actually can go through the book and learn how to work with people and, go deeper and deeper into the integration process. And this book also came from all the therapists who kept telling me, come on, I need the guidebook in order to do this when I'm, learning to go to do it with the client. And then another book, it's called Intentional Parenting, which Dr. Jaffari, Nicole Jaffari, she's a professor at 2 of the Cal States. And one of my dear friends, Eileen Manukian, who is also child developing specialist, and she runs Gem Educare, which runs my model for daycare. And they talked about, we need a textbook for the university for all of the parents, because the parents are constantly calling us and letting us know that we want some type of a book. We want some guidelines in what to do with our kids.
Nice.
So that book is also coming out with the same thing, with the model now being taught kind of to the teachers and stuff for the parents.
So two questions. Where can your book be found? And is there an audiobook coming soon as well?
The book is in Amazon.
Will be corporate
So,
coming up next in about 15.
So you could go to Amazon and put in Life Reset and my name, Dr. Foojan Zeine, and you'll find the book. I am in the process of doing that in audio. I got the rights to do the audio myself with my own voice. So I got to train my voice. It's not that easy to do the audio book. You got to train your voice to be similar at every time you do it with the same frequency and not be tired and all of that. So I'm training myself to actually do the audio book. So soon the audio book will be out.
Nice. Nice. And then something else new in your life. You have a new page set up on Togetherness Media. Would you love to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I think that you can get the book. The book, both it's in English and it was translated to Farsi, so you could definitely get those 2 books also from the Togetherness Media. The other part that I think that nobody else has it, it's I created 4 series of audio CDs, which are like a self-help, self-hypnosis. One of them is for relaxing, to teach you exactly how to go back and relax yourself. And they are binaural beat, by the way. And I say this because I know you know about all the binaural
Nice.
beats. So, so in the background,
Yes.
there's binaural beat. There's beautiful music on it, and then there's also me talking and taking you through a process for relaxation. Another one is for people who can't sleep. So we've made the binaural beat to go into the, theta wave, for a person to go into the sleep mode. And also I start with the conversation of how to let go of the mind and clear the mind in order to go to sleep. The third one is how to release your emotions and addictions. There's a lot of muscle relaxation techniques in there, and go through the conversation of how to relax your body, how to bring every emotion and then release it, and then how to release a lot of the attachments that you have to anything that you might be addicted to. Food, drugs, alcohol, any of those. And then the fourth one is about how to be with your body. So in that, again, with the hypnotic hypnotic concept. You go into every part of your body and organ and you connect, you ask for the needs, you appreciate, you give gratitude, you connect, and you go to the next one and to the next one. And a promise to be healthy and keep taking care of this vehicle. So those 4 CDs are also there that people can get. Yeah,
Nice. Beautiful. Well,
thank you.
well, thank you, Dr. Foojan. Our next thing, I'll be coming. Our next show together, I'll be coming live from Egypt. Um, so it should be fun. We'll be doing it like the time zone. It'll be like about 4 a.m. out there, but I'm a late sleeper anyway, so we'll like we'll be doing a show from remotely from across the globe with each other.
How cool. Well, how come you're going to Egypt?
I'm going. I just decided to go. Like my spirit's been calling me to Egypt for a while, and I got the opportunity with some things there. I was originally planning on going earlier, but then my grandfather was started getting terminal, so I wanted to wait till after he passed and got buried before I left the country. And I leave fly out next Thursday.
Well, enjoy and have a safe trip. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of great stories and great sightseeing and amazing culture to share with us from there.
Yeah. Yeah, about a one-way ticket. Don't know how, like, I'm just moving out on faith. Um, moving out on, like I say, it's not enough to practice what you preach, but also preach what you practice. And part of preaching what I practice is listening to your gut and listening to spirit and moving forward. And that's what this next mission and this next part of the journey is going to take me. And I'm so excited for your journey and for you putting out this book so that more people will have access to your wisdom and to your knowledge. And may it be an unbelievable success for you emotionally, physically, financially, energetically. And may, as you go through and read the audiobook and read it out loud, may inspire even more beautiful concepts for you, and may all the people be touched and blessed by the knowledge that you've been a vessel to deliver. And I thank you and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And may you find all that you're looking for in Egypt and more. And I'm sure that your spirit is calling you because there's something there that you need to connect with. And I'm positive that you will. And seems like you're a risk taker. And also it seems like it doesn't matter where you are, the connection with Togetherness Media is going to show up. So I'm sure that we'll have amazing conversations. Yes. All right.
We will. We'll have conversations from the Nile. Like my apartment is right next to the Nile River, so we'll have a Nile side chat.
Absolutely. Have a safe trip.
All right. Thank you. Love you, Doc. This is Anthony Powers. This is Togetherness Media. I'm so happy to have you guys. There's nobody around. I'll show my face for a second. I love y'all. Be divine. Keep on watching. So much good content.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com